Welcome everybody, Red Arrow 23 here. Today we're going to be doing a quick first impressions on the hero update. Let's boom some booches! Alright guys, the hero update is here. It dropped last night just as I was going to bed. We went onto a maintenance break and then I couldn't update it until the morning. So I don't know if I'm a little bit behind or whatever, but that was pretty cool. The update is finally here. Firstly, I've avoided all talk about the hero update up to this point because I feel like it's all been speculation. Unless I get sneak peeks, like some of the other YouTubers out there have got. A lot of it is just major speculation on limited information. So now that it's here, I feel like we can actually start talking about it, how it's interacting in the game, which I love. So the first things first, we've got the hero hut. So that's sitting over here. It does come up as a bit of a broken down shack, and you can spend about 2 minutes to fix it. 2 minutes and 6 seconds I think it was, and you get 1 experience point for that. You don't get any experience points for upgrading the heroes or the abilities, to my knowledge so far. So that's the hero hut. So we have a look at the heroes and their abilities. Sergeant Brick is going to be unlocked from headquarters 4 and up. So if you've got them, then we'll be update. Sergeant Brick will appear straight away as soon as you upgrade the hut to serviceable. So here we got Sergeant Brick, medium range, grenade spammer. So there's sort of two, there's one perk. So the hero has a perk, and this perk is grenade spammer. So she fires a machine gun and occasionally she'll throw a grenade. And Captain Everspark, who is available after you defeat War Factory level 45, which you don't see on your map until you've cleared all the clouds or cleared the particular cloud at level 15 radar. So just keep that in mind. There might be a distress beacon on your map, and that'll probably be where she is, and you can clear that map, defeat War Factory 45, and then you'll unlock War Factory for upcoming events, and you'll unlock Everspark. So her hero perk is Robot Overlord, and that is that she spawns critters every few seconds. So at the moment spawn rate is 5.5 minus the 0.1 for the bonus. So after the hero perks themselves, so they're always going to be there. You can't do anything about them. They're just going to generate on their own. They're going to do it just from being around. And then you've got these hero abilities, and the first one is going to be Cluster Grenade level 1, pretty self-explanatory. You use GBE for these things, and they increase in value as you use them. So Cluster Grenade is the first one. I'll let you guys have a look at that on your own. Iron Will is quite good, I've heard, for HZ, maybe even RZM or CRZM, Cryo Rifle Zuka Medic, and it mitigates the damage taken by nearby troops for a duration. So it's not going to be a big deal for all Zukas because there's not enough health to mitigate the damage. But that's pretty cool, and you'll see the radius when we get to a few attacks later. And the one that I see most used on operations is battle orders, and this boosts the damage and movement speed of nearby troops for a duration. And it's just the one, as soon as she yells out to go faster and go do more damage, doesn't really matter what happens to her, that is going to continue to happen for the duration, which is 8 seconds. And looks like the speed bonus is going to improve as we upgrade that ability. So these abilities can be upgraded. I need level 4 to upgrade the Cluster Grenade and the Iron Will, and level 6 to upgrade the Battle Orders. So I'm currently sitting on level 3, a little bit behind some of my teammates, but that's all good. And I'll be continuing to upgrade her. I'm going to max her out as quickly as I can. Her max level is 22, and Captain Everspark I'm going to max on my alt account, so I can kind of see how they're both operating, and then if I want to I can bring her up in my main as well. Captain Everspark max level is 13. Okay, so that's enough talk about the heroes. It'll be great to see how they work in operations and maps. It's very player versus player NPCs. It's very early days for that sort of stuff. I'll show a few hits right at the end, but quickly let's go through. So we've also got the trader is in the update, and she's currently out restocking her supply. So she's going to show up at Friday at 6 AM I believe, and then she's disappearing on Sunday at 10 PM. This is all local time. So because Supercell are using the local time format, New Zealand, which is where I'm from, is going to see it first. So I'm probably going to do a video. I'm going to be recording as soon as 6 o'clock in the morning rolls around. I'll start recording, have a look at the trader, and we'll just talk about a few things. Anything else that I've learned in for the next couple of days about heroes, and just sort of how that's all going to work. That's all going to work basically off the trader tickets, I believe. And so the hero tokens you can use to upgrade the abilities, which are these things here. You can see that I need 8 to upgrade the first level of anything. And then trader tickets you can use to trade with the trader for items that we're going to have a look at on Friday. The way you get trader tickets is if you click on your VP, you'll see that in your supply chest and daily rewards, you'll be able to get trader tickets, one a day, and that's the same at all victory point levels, I believe. Let's just go all the way up to the top. Yep, so it's going to be 1 ticket a day, which is cool. We can see how we're going to be able to spend them, which is awesome. So let's jump into additional changes. So if you go into your envelope and you hit up the news and then go into the hero update, you can read all this sort of in your own time. It talks a little bit about Sergeant Brick and how everything came to be. The tickets, the crates are part of the trader submarine that's going to pop up. And you can see that video there. The additional changes, the machine gun has a tighter spread, making it much more effective on defense. And I've seen this, warrior attacks are just getting steamrolled because of these machine gun tighter spread. At different ranges, it's obviously different now. Basically, machine guns are way better than they were before the update. Just crazy better. So you definitely have to keep them in mind when you're looking at what you're shocking. Prototype defenses, yeah, so they're increasing the prototype defenses that you can have on your map to 3. So now you won't have to wait until Weapon Lab 5 to get 2 protos. You'll be able to get 2 at level 3, 2 prototypes at level 3, and then you'll be able to place 3 prototypes once you've got Weapon Lab 5. So this will be interesting to see how this sort of balances out, because unless they increase the amount of proto parts that we can gather from the map, from the player versus player, from War Factory, Hammerman, it's going to be interesting to see, because people are just going to run out of prototypes and they're not going to be able to build 3 level 3 prototypes all the time. It's just not possible. So it'll be interesting to see how that balances out. At the moment I'm seeing a lot of shield bases, a lot more prototypes. Some people just have 3 different prototypes, but there's a lot to think about when you're using warriors, or if you're using tanks or anything like that. It's going to be a whole bunch of different. You might have a grappler, a doom cannon, and a shock blaster, and they're all high priority if you want to BART them out for a tank attack or scorcher attack. So yeah, prototypes definitely big up in the game, and that's mainly to counter the heroes, bringing them in. There's a lot of offensive advantage to the heroes theoretically, once we figure out how to use them. So prototypes is the way that we're going to defend against that. It's trying to keep the game balanced. I like it. Barbed wire fixes. So the barbed wire was never supposed to be able to be shocked, and that's supposedly fixed, and I assume it is. I haven't tried it. This isn't really going to change the majority of the game. The only reason that you would shock the barbed wire is mainly if you go on hardcore and you need to do 20 million, you need to do a 30 million shield. and you just need to get your Zukas there ASAP, so you're just shocking to go through the barbed wire, and then you're not too worried about it using up your GBE on shocks. But you're not going to be able to do that anymore, so you're definitely going to slow down if you do go through barbed wire, and you're going to have to use the medkit. I've heard that there might be a little bit of difference when you're going through there, that you might need to use medkits earlier, so just watch out for that. And if you're going through multiple layers, so 3 right in a row, you used to be able to get away with 1 medkit. I'm not sure if that's still the case, so definitely keep an eye on that and see how it goes. I'll keep you updated once I see more. And lots of fixes, they always include that, just because there are always going to be other things that they're working on that they'll try and fix. Boat color. I've noticed that the level 22 landing craft has changed color. So if you look in the info, that's what it used to look like. It used to look all black on the trim. I'm not sure if they're going to fix that, if it necessarily is broken. Like, you just see that there's a bit more blue around, which isn't a big deal. I mean, it just looks different. Another thing is the player tag. So you can now share your player tag. If you click on your name, you'll be able to share, and then what that'll do is create a link, and you can text it to someone, chuck it on band, whatever you want to do, and then players can use that link to go through Boom Beach and have a look at your base, which is pretty cool. I kind of like that. It's a nice little feature. Okay, so let's jump into some hits with the heroes. Let's just see how they operate. We're going to have a look at some defenses first. So I've got a skank attack here and they're using brick. I was boosted at this time. So they're just going to obviously get rid of all the boom cannons that they can, because they're using scorchers and tanks. And then we got brick that's operating in the back here. You'll find that with brick and Everspark, so that, as far as I've seen, that she's going to sit at the range in between scorchers and tanks. So they're not going to be very good for brick's not going to be very helpful for teammate, because she's going to sit out at the front. She's going to get shot straight away and be down. So the battle orders is what she's using right now. She's trying to rally the troops, and they're all moving a little bit faster than they usually would. And then she has now died. Well, she's gone unconscious. She's just sitting on the floor, having a bit of a rest, feeling a bit dizzy. So as far as with scorchers and tanks, I'm not sure how effective it's going to be. You kind of need a few more scorchers to protect her, so that she can continue to rally the troops. And obviously skanks are quite a high GBE task already. So this guy has boosted his GBE, I believe. Already using a lot of GBE just to deploy skanks, to then use extra GBE to destroy boom cannons, and then move on to rallying your troops with the hero ability is pretty big ask, really, I think. We've got another one with just scorchers. So let's have a look at that one. So we should see that we're getting a lot more coverage, a lot more protection for Sergeant Brick, which is great. But then you're seeing that the scorchers are just running away from her as they get battle ordered. So they're speeding up, and they're all spreading out, going all over the place. So we're not really getting much assistance from Sergeant Brick. They're getting a little bit, which is good, but I don't know if it's necessarily worth the GBE that you're going to be spending on it. And now you can see all the scorchers are just so far away from Sergeant Brick that's not really going to be useful. So I think he pops another one here, and there's only sort of 1 or 2 in range. Okay, no, maybe not. But that's, yeah, so he popped it there, and there's only 1 in range that's not under smoke. So scorchers, again, not sure if that's necessarily a good tactic with this hero, or with heroes in general, because they both seem to be sitting at the same range, even though once there's moderate, medium range, and once there's short. I think they kind of look like they just stay at the same range. So let's have a look at the Joker. And as I kind of said before, Everspark's going to have got shorter range than tanks, and she's just going to move on forwards and get right in range of all the defenses. She's popping out her critters every 5 seconds or so, which is cool. And she's just trying to attack things, so she's moving forwards, and then eventually she's going to get taken out. So you can see there she pops right out in front and then just gets roasted. So I'm not sure if it's necessarily the best hero for those sort of tactics. Let's have a look at some of my attacks. We've got my attacks. I wanted to look at Smoker's Delight. I use them. I had lost a few Zookas at this stage, so I had to use all 8 boats with like 3 Zookas on each one. That's fine. So that's one of the major things. There's a few things that we're going to be thinking about when we're using these new heroes. Is the movement speed, or the which is going to affect our delay. So the movement speed of Brick is a lot faster than Zooka's. It's around about the same speed as a heavy. So they're going to overtake Zooka's. They're not going to be able to keep up with warriors. So this is a pretty similar attack that I usually do, Critter, Shock, Shock, and then I've used the hero ability of to power up the speed that they're firing at, or the speed up the damage. So it's kind of cool. The other thing that we're going to be thinking about is the extra GBE that we've now lost, so or the extra GBE that's costing. So we're going to get there. I know that I need to get to the core for my NPCs with 40 GBE, and that's going to give me 2 critters and 2 shocks. And then I need an extra 6 GBE for the perk of, or for the ability of the hero. So there's a bit more of a burden there. The range is obviously important. We've already discussed. And then we're going to think about how it's going to fit into the different troop combos. So I think it's going to be quite, Battle Orders is going to be quite relevant for all Zooka attacks. Probably CRZM or RZM, like we already discussed it, also Iron Will, and the same for HZ. You saw sort of the range of those attacks, and it is quite interesting to see how much range Sergeant Brick has. This was actually my first attack with Battle Orders using AZ. So I've always used a decent amount of GBE. I'm unboosted at this stage. Having to use 3 smokes, because that 2 smoke landing obviously isn't going to be wide enough, and then even then I wasn't able to cover the hero. The thing with the 3 smoke is that obviously we've got 9 boats trying to converge onto this one spot. It's making it a lot harder even for that second wave of smokes. So it's a lot harder to cover them. Took a few shots on the right. Once we get used to this, it'll be a lot easier, and like flare landings might be a lot better, or a lot more use. You might not see as many 2 smoke landings. And then as you see there, one really important thing to note that I can't believe I haven't even said yet, is that you can use Battle Orders, Iron Will, all of those abilities before you come out of the smoke. So you can tap it, and then she won't be able to use it until she comes out of the smoke. She can't use that ability until she pops out of the smoke. So you press that ability, do your critters, do your shocks, and then you don't have to worry about rushing all of it. So you can do it as soon as you effectively land her. If you land her under smoke and she doesn't peek, she won't yell out anything, and you won't have your Battle Orders. So she's now she's yelling, and there we go. Down goes the core. A little bit of losses there, but that's all good for a shield generator with 5 blue statues. That's okay. Unboosted, taking it down. What else have we got? I want to show you 2 op attacks that we've had so far. We've been trying to avoid using them on this op or on the op so far, just because we are obviously unfamiliar with them, and we don't want the team to suffer because we're trying to think outside the box or trying to work too hard with foreign things. So here we go. We got BR doing a pretty standard HZ, but he's going to be bringing a hero with him. And he's going to be triggering that ability straight away, and that's going to speed up the walk. So you can see the troops are walking a lot faster. Did cost him the delay just because the Zookas were a little bit too fast, but that's fine. And then that's when the ability cut out. And now we're flaring onto the core, and he can pop that hero ability again now, assuming that Brick doesn't pop out. I can't actually see where she is. And then as soon as it pops out of the smoke, that ability is going to be cranking. And then all those critters and shocks, beautiful hit from BR, and down goes the core on Fang. So that was pretty cool to watch. No medkit's pretty disappointing, but that's okay. Let's move on. We've got, apparently this was BVD's first time using battle orders. And I think battle orders is going to be a massive part in high level operations, by the way. It's almost going to be required to have a high level battle order Sergeant Brick to be on the leaderboard teams. But it is early days, like we've only just sort of seen this update, so it'd be interesting to see. So this is going to be the last attack, and then we'll tie it up. So we've got a few shocks and things going on, and those battle orders are just roasting the core down. Check it out. So there's a lot more damage than it would have been. There was 1.4 mil on this core, and he's probably got it down. Well, we can go and have a look. Was 1.4, and it's now 66k. So he effectively did 1.4. He did 1.38-ish, which is pretty good with all of those defenses around. So nice work, BVD. That's going to tie it up for a quick first impressions of the hero update. I'll see you again on Friday to have a look at that trader and sort of discuss what else we've learned. Sorry for the long video, but there's a lot to talk about. And give us a comment down below on all of your thoughts about heroes. Give us a thumbs up, like the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and subscribe for more. Boom, boom. Cha.